Hi everyone, my name is Liam Mackesy and I'm a Senior Solutions Specialist on the Native Advertising team at Microsoft Advertising. I'm based in Dublin in Ireland, and today I'm here to talk to you about a very important topic that is impacting the whole advertising industry. And even though we don't have all of the answers and some are still being defined, we believe that the more we talk about it, the more prepared that we get. That topic is the phase out of third-party cookies and getting ready for a new era in digital advertising. In June of 2021, Google announced it was delaying plans to phase out third-party cookies in its Chrome browser until later in 2023, which was originally planned for 2022. Meanwhile, other browsers like Safari and Firefox have already started blocking third-party cookies. The point really being that the time to take action is now because this is already happening. We live in a different era, and we have transitioned from a time where digital services could grow without much scrutiny, and when it was not to a time when it's not enough to provide just a great online experience. It really needs to be done in a way that respects people's privacy. And that pressure is coming from consumers directly, which is proven by our research, which shows that 87% of people believe that data privacy is a right and not a privilege. And while people are more aware of their privacy rights, the industry continues to invest in tracking and targeting audiences, investing 19.7 billion US dollars in audience data and activation in the US alone. So that conflict between what the industry does and the privacy that people demand brings more pressure from regulators and advocacy groups. With that, how we manage private information will fundamentally change the way brands collect and use data to engage with audiences. So, what is a cookie? And no, we are not talking about the kind that you eat. The purpose of a cookie is to track user behavior. First-party cookies track to help improve and customize the user experience. For example, by remembering your name and what's in shopping carts. Third-party cookies are used for tracking in online advertising. So why don't users like third-party cookies? They don't let you control where and how your personally identifiable information, or PII, is used. People don't like that, and they don't trust third-party cookies as a result. How are first-party and third-party cookies similar? From a technical perspective, they're the same. They both contain the same pieces of information and can do the same things. But how are first-party and third-party cookies different? Well, that's how they're created and used by websites. Now, on the next slide, in order to address the issue, which I've touched on very briefly previously, many tech companies announced restrictions to third-party cookies on their browsers by 2022. Third-party cookies are expected to stop working completely by this time and across most of the popular browsers, and many have already started to do this already. And even though today we're talking about third-party cookies, similar restrictions will be coming to mobile apps as well. And these changes will disrupt how brands currently do addressability, which is the profiling and targeting of audiences, and accountability, like all of the measurement in digital marketing. And now the whole digital marketing ecosystem is running against the clock to find alternatives. What we see is that with this upcoming change, it's already impacting investments in the industry. And on the next slide, you'll see that marketers, publishers, and other data users invested 11.9 billion US dollars in third-party audience data in 2019 in the US, which is still pretty massive and reflective of the dependency companies have on third-party data. However, this is only a 6.1% year-over-year growth, and a significant slowdown from the corresponding 15.7% growth posted in 2018. And according to the IAB report, this likely reflects growing brand anxiety about ongoing deprecation of the cookie as a viable data element. Data will continue to be the holy grail of marketing, and we need it to offer personalized experiences and drive better marketing ROI. But how we source the data is being disrupted, and brands will need a strategy to keep the benefits of user understanding while seeking to be compliant with the new privacy landscape. So here are the changes that we're expecting in the advertising industry. There's going to be a much greater emphasis on first-party data. And as a result of this, logged in activity will become even more important. Much of the unauthenticated web will eventually become not trackable and reportable for marketers, and of little value to publishers as well. There's going to be a new reliance on context and behavior. Another way to target audiences without the use of third-party cookies is by leveraging the rich information available on pages people visit. So for example, a publisher with strong content about cars can use first-party data cookies and signals from the content of its web pages to define that a certain user has a high interest in cars. Therefore, despite tighter controls, advertisers will still be able to work with publishers to get data on consumer behavior to serve targeted ads without the use of cookies or by buying an audience segment based on first-party cookies. Publishers and brands are going to have to work more closely together. Strategic partnerships will be key for brands, and since not all publishers have the first-party data scale or the diverse content categories and technology to succeed without third-party cookies. And finally, one challenge that remains open is still what will happen to attribution. Tracking incrementality and ROI models is super important. And in an IAB survey with brands, 49% of the respondents said that measurement and attribution will really significantly command their attention in the year ahead. The same percentage of recovery from COVID-19, both leading the list. And there's much debate about the renewed importance of insights based on user panels, more focus on attention metrics such as heat maps, and other solutions that are based on first-party data. So, how can we help you to prepare for a cookieless world, and what can we do to help? So let's think about this across three pillars. The first being connect, expand, and then future-proof. For connect, it's all about audience targeting. Leverage the full suite of audience targeting that's available to you in Microsoft Advertising. Some will continue to work as is, and some will be affected. However, the good news is that all will work if you have updated your universal event tracking tag to the latest JavaScript version. For Expand, get started with the Microsoft Audience Network to tap into powerful signals and first-party data signals from the Microsoft Audience Intelligence and reach your target customers at scale. And finally, as I mentioned for future proofing, make sure that you've implemented correctly your UET tag in order to maximize your ROI with Microsoft Advertising. So let's dive a little bit deeper into the Microsoft Audience Network. This is a great next step for you to start testing how our first-party data performs for you across different media, touching both upper and lower funnel. The Microsoft Audience Network is comprised of high-quality native placements curated through human and AI reviews in brand-safe environments on Microsoft-owned and operated properties such as MSN, Outlook.com, and Microsoft Edge, and on select premium partner properties like CBS Sports, Everyday Health, Fox Business, and so on. Through our network, you can access the Microsoft audience and meaningfully engage with your ideal customers by leveraging Microsoft's unique data about its users and their intent signals. And we do so by taking into account customers' privacy and data security. We do not share our data, and we do not buy any external third-party data signals. At Microsoft, we really pride ourselves on following strict processes in relation to privacy and making sure that we respect our customers' data and in turn comply with GDPR and CCPA. And on top of that, we have a top-of-the-line artificial intelligence solution which drives personalization and increased ad relevancy to help you achieve your marketing goals. Microsoft Audience Ads are highly performing. And on the next slide, you'll see that within our marketplaces, click-through rates on the Microsoft Audience Network are consistently higher than on other native platforms delivering on the same properties. For example, on the MSN info pane, when we compare with other native DSPs serving into those placements, Microsoft Audience Ads drove 2 times higher click-through rates. When we look at that on Outlook.com, it's 1.2 times higher. And on our select premium publisher partners, it's 3.5 times higher. So these are really powerful numbers. And the reasons for these great results rely on our strong intent-based AI and machine learning signals to guide audience segmentation, engagement prediction, personalized offer selection, and ROI management, all to help drive a better return on investment. When we look at targeting, we have 3 buckets here: user and intent targeting, user profile targeting, and location and devices. Within user and intent targeting, you have a full range to choose from, the likes of remarketing, in-market audiences, dynamic remarketing, similar audiences, customer match, to name but a few. Within user profile targeting, we really pride ourselves on the ability to use LinkedIn profile targeting to reach your ideal customers. This is a feature that is unique to Microsoft Advertising, which allows you to target based on industry, company, or job function. And alongside all of that, you can also target based on location and device. So no matter what way you want to reach your ideal customers, we have a way for you to do that through our full suite of audience targeting solutions. And we want to make it easier for you. You can easily import campaigns that are already running on Google and Facebook. And on top of that, we are also giving you the opportunity to import audiences that you've already built out on Google. So think about what those audiences are driving for you on Google and the time that you put into building those audiences already. So Google Import will allow you to import those audiences and to help you get the best results, improve your return on ad spend, and reduce your cost per acquisition by leveraging audiences that you have already built that you can bring directly over to Microsoft Advertising. It's all about making it as easy for you as possible to get up and running on the Microsoft Audience Network. So that's a lot of information looking at the deprecation of the third-party cookie and how we can help you by getting up and running on the Microsoft Audience Network. So here are some next steps for you to take away. Don't wait, start planning now. It's time to invest in a first-party data strategy. It's time to tap into publishers with scaled first-party data and technology to succeed without the third-party cookie. And with that in mind, it's time to get started on the Microsoft Audience Network. You can import your campaigns directly from Facebook or Google if you want to get up and running really quickly. And to make sure that you are most successful, make sure that you're using the latest version of the UET JavaScript tag on all pages of your site and tap into all of our full suite of audience targeting solutions. For more information on all of this and everything we've covered today, check out microsoftadvertising.com/native. Thanks so much.